Hello, welcome to my tech video tutorial about Flipgrid. My name is Jessie Magliari, and I'm a recent graduate from the Master's in Special Education program at Cal Poly. First, I'd like to share an overview of Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a free learning platform that we can use for pre-K to even PhD classrooms. Here are just a few main features of Flipgrid. With Flipgrid, educators use their grids, which are like classrooms, to post new topics or discussions for students to respond to. Students engage in these topics by posting short video responses. Teachers and students can view, like, and comment on their classmates' video responses, cultivating a social learning experience with every topic. Starting the school year off with icebreakers, creating weekly reflections, giving presentations, or even hosting a virtual school-wide science fair are just some of the topics educators can make on Flipgrid. My graduate program at Cal Poly even utilized Flipgrid for weekly article discussions and reflections. It was a fun way to add our personalities to cohort discussions, and it gave us the opportunity to hear and learn from everyone's input. Flipgrid also makes teaching with UDL principles in mind easy. As an alternative to written expressions, students can choose how they show their knowledge with multiple means of action and expression on Flipgrid. Using multimedia for communication with Flipgrid increases the opportunities for all students to develop their wider range of expression. Students can express their knowledge on Flipgrid by sharing speeches, sharing drawings or illustrations of their knowledge, creating storyboards, sharing 3D models, adding to discussion forums and chats. An immediate, rich world that we live in, especially during distance learning, Flipgrid makes for inclusive learning opportunities perfect for distance learning in the fall. Flipgrid can also serve as a bridge between home and school. You can cultivate family involvement by sharing videos of individual students with families on mixtape collections that they can follow. Educators can also make guest mode topics and invite families to record from home or during conferences. Educators always have full control of grids and videos. At the bottom of this slide, I have embedded a link directly to Flipgrid, so you can make your own, as well as a link to a screencastify demo of the educator and student view, as well as mixtape and guest mode information. Right now, I'll play the demos before moving to the next slide. Here's a demo of how to navigate an educator view with the grids and topics that you create for your students. And I'm also going to take you through what it looks like to be in student view mode to peek at how students will navigate and respond to those topics that you have linked and assigned to them on Google Classroom or whatever your district is using. So when I log in, I'm going to go right to my grids tab. You can see that right here I've created a grid for my resource classroom. Here I have it set up so either student IDs will get you into this grid or student emails will get you access to this grid. So you can change that privacy setting, but you can add new grids for, just like I did, your entire classroom. You can add a grid for reading groups or for homogeneous learning groups receiving specialized instruction. But let's take a closer look at this grid that I've created. And within this grid, I have a few topics already created. I have this one right here that I'm going to take you right into. This topic is Meet the Resource Classroom. You can see in this topic, it's a get to know you with teachers and students. So teachers I have a staff of 7 people in the resource classroom. So those 7 staff members, along with myself, will get the chance to introduce ourselves, and then students can watch those intros and then add to it and say hello back to us. And in this topic, I've even, there's a space where you can add attachments, and I've attached an introduction letter introducing myself, some of my favorite things, and my contact information, which is pretty cool. But I'm going to go into student view mode now. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to log in with my pretend student email. And when students log in, this is what it looks like. So here's the grid, Miss Jessie's resource class, and the topic that I've assigned, Meet the Resource Classroom. And just as a side note, this drop-down bar right here allows students to toggle between different topics that they've been assigned. But let's take a look at Meet the Resource Classroom. So they have the prompt and they have the intro letter that they can access right here. But I failed to mention this earlier, but yeah, you can customize this and make this as fun and interactive as you want. So I added a GIF right here. But anyway, so when students add their response, all they have to do is click this plus button, and I'm going to show you what that looks like as a student responding to this. All right, so when you click the add button, it's going to take you right to here so they can video record themselves. And I'll do a quick demo. Hi, my name is Jessie, and I'm so excited to be in the resource classroom. All right, now we're going to review that video and see how we like that, and we can change that up if we don't like it, and do another one if we'd like, but here we go. Hi, my name is Jessie, and I'm so excited to be in the resource classroom. Hopefully your students will engage in that a little bit longer than I did in that demo, but you can kind of get the gist of it. Now you take a selfie, and this kind of goes in the header of those responses, and this is what you'll see when you open up that topic. So here's a selfie, smile, and then you can do so many fun things to this. You can add filters, change the color. I'll do a little black and white. You can add captions. Do a hello, and I'll move that so it's not right in my face. You can even add stickers. You can draw all over it if you'd like. This is my favorite thing to add. You can see it's recently used. I'm going to add some sunglasses. Move that right there. Looking real groovy. So I'm ready to submit this video. Go. Don't close your window. All right, and then add your name, the student name, a title if you want. I'll just do hello. Submit my video, and then when students submit this, as educators, we get an email right away as soon as we get a response to our Flipgrids, which is really cool. And right here, there's all these different options as well. All right, and then I will take you to the next demo. Here's a demo and kind of a stretch out explanation of what mixtapes are, as well as what guest mode is on Flipgrid. So because I have a brand new Flipgrid and I don't have any responses from students yet, I can't quite show you what a mixtape is, but it's basically a playlist of select responses from students on specific topics. So here's a blog post about mixtapes, but mixtapes, you get pick what goes on your mixtape, you set the order you want, and kind of set up a queue of responses that you want to play. Mixtapes are view only and can be shared anywhere. Your community can follow your mixtapes and receive an email when new videos are added. But here's just a few examples of what you can create using mixtapes. So student portfolios, semester highlights, project showcases, school yearbooks, read-alouds, family night memories, talent show remixes, or creating mixtapes for student TED Talks. So you can do a lot of really fun things on here, and it's just another way to queue up and highlight really great responses that you get from your students. Now let me explain a little bit more about guest mode. So I'm going to take you to my Google site that I've created for my resource classroom and click on my parent guardian portal here. So when you use guest mode on Flipgrid, it's creating a bridge between school and family. Really great outlet for family engagement right here. And I wanted to show you, I've embedded, using guest mode, a link for parents to access the Flipgrid interaction that their kids are having with these assignments and these topics. So on here, on my Google site, you can see I clicked on this embedded link that took me straight to the demo topic that I shared with you in the last demo. So that link took me straight to Miss Jessie's Resource Classroom grid, and then this topic, Meet the Resource Classroom Staff, and you can see this link took them straight to that topic where they can view only the responses that have been added to this topic. So they can only view it, so students don't have to worry about their parents embarrassing them, but parents get to interact with this and see and maybe even help their students engage in this Flipgrid. So that's the advantage of having guest mode. All right, now that I've shown both those demos, let's go on to the next slide. Now I'd like to share a quick example using Flipgrid in the classroom and a story about how I've seen and used Flipgrid with students. So during distance learning this past spring, this is how a 4th grade teacher used Flipgrid to teach STEM. Students engaged in online resources, and one of those was Brain Pop, and it was a lesson on electric circuits. It taught the difference between series and parallel circuits. After completing the lesson, students were given a Flipgrid link to respond to. Students had the opportunity to describe something that they learned, share their scratch paper drawings of parallel and series circuits, or share their completed complementary worksheets that accompanied their lesson. Students were actively engaged and very creative in their responses. And this is just another great example of how Flipgrid can be used to create some really fun lessons that align perfectly with content area standards. And as you can see, I've included the standard that perfectly aligned with this Brain Pop and Flipgrid activity. And thank you for learning about Flipgrid with me. I hope you enjoyed this technology video tutorial from the School of Education at Cal Poly.